Look what came in today. Now, oftentimes when I finish creative projects and they're 95% done, and then I finally get the shipment in the mail, and it's a bunch of cards or a small shipment of books in this case, the moment of truth before I open the package is always like, because it's either going to be not good, not what I envisioned, to put it politely, or it's going to be perfect. And in this case, thankfully, it was perfect. If the camera wants to come in and take a look at this, a nice hardback. I'm really pleased with getting the physical thing in my hand. Um, my hands just love it. It's got everything that I have found in my research and training on double sabers, and I got kind of frustrated remembering something about double sabers, a woodblock print, an application, random historic reference, and trying to go to all these different places. Let's see, did I find that in a museum archive? Was that an email that one of my kind of training partners sent me? So to have it all in one place, preserved and just kind of concrete, that's a really, really good feeling. Um, Forward by Will Wayne Williams. I really appreciate that Will did that for me. Look, there he is. Um, Basically, if you will humor me for an example, I think someone in Texas can learn a lot about Italian cooking and they can learn recipes and technique. But it's no question that someone who's actually lived in Italy for 10 plus years and they've been traveling up and down and talking to Italian cooks, and that guy's going to have his own unique experiences and perspective. And that's Will and I. I'm here in Texas working on this stuff, trying to get it right, trying to reference real history. But Will's been actually in China traveling up and down. And I'll tell you something that Will is too classy to admit, but I'll tell you a little secret about him. Oftentimes, he's not making money. Um, he's taking time off of his day to go to some freaking random village and, film a teacher, and that's time he could be working or doing something else. But then, instead of monetizing that and saying, "Oh, I learned this teacher's breathing exercise. You have to go through me." If people ask after he's highlighted that teacher, he just directs them to that teacher. So I always thought with Will, this is someone who is interested in promoting the art, not himself, and I really admire that. And for him to look at what a guy in Texas is doing and say, yeah, and kind of lend his stamp of approval, it meant a lot. So huge thank you, shout out to Will. Here's some history. Come and take a look at this. This is actually a beautiful illustration that's about 1,000 years old. I hadn't seen this around Facebook or Instagram or anything. This was a new discovery for me, but this was in Princeton. And most people will think about double sabers as a Ming Dynasty kind of thing. That particular print is 1,000 years old. It's like Song Dynasty. So again, knowing the history kind of shapes your perspective of like, oh, this is maybe an older phenomenon than I thought. Because if you notice, there's like four people there with double sabers. Might be kind of hard to see on the video, but when you get it, you'll be able to see all the details. These are tributors coming to the emperor, people who knew how to use swords and knew how to make swords. The opposite page, you get kind of a bio about a woman during the Song Dynasty, and she used double sabers. Um, this was a lady who I actually used to tutor writing in a local college, and sometimes there would be kind of like really technical writing for like a science class. Sometimes there would be creative writing. If someone had written this story about this lady as creative fiction, I might have just, and they were trying to go for something semi-realistic, I might have told them to tone it down a bit. But in this case, it's all true. There are all these really good kind of records about her, and she was originally part of this bandit family, but she rose to power. She used double sabers, and she rose to power, and finally, she got an audience before the emperor. and actually got to own her own set of land for aiding him. And a real Mulan type tale, but Mulan was fiction. This lady actually existed. So some of the stories you can use, or you can learn and look at rather. It's all part of the history of double sabers. Pretty amazing. What else? Okay. Now I can't show you this page, or these pages rather, because it goes on for a while, but I'm looking at a whole list of QR codes with applications, with saber reviews, with cutting demos. Um, and these are things that you can pull out your phone and scan, and you'll get detailed instruction on. I had to stop and grab my phone because I thought, why not? It'd be a good idea to show you what you're getting. In the old days, when you did, when you had, say, a paperback from the 70s or a martial arts magazine, it was just static pictures, so it was sometimes hard to tell what someone was trying to teach or how good they were. So, hopefully, this solves the problem. I think this is the next evolution for martial arts books. So, I've got my whole list of QR codes here. I scan one just by holding my camera over it, and boom, it's already popped up. So, if the camera wants to come on over and take a look, I've got me talking about double sabers, I'll mute it, and a specific block and technique. And this video is 30 minutes long. All sorts of approaches, all sorts of things that can go wrong, all sorts of variations. That's just one technique, mistakes to avoid. And so you're getting a whole lot more than just a book. I think the book itself is pretty awesome. I love having kind of a physical hard copy. I was going to say I'm old school that way, but I've run into younger people who said, hey, this should be a book. This should be something physical. This should be a kind of crystallized tribute to the art. And I agree. I love it. The book itself and just the raw history, like the prints I was showing you, that illustration of the Song Dynasty, I think that's worth it. But you're getting loads of video tutorials. You're getting weapons reviewed. You're getting history. I think I challenge you to think about all the time and research that went into this, the filming, the meeting up to filming, the kind of like research, the every little ounce of effort and time that went into this. Think about that and then put $200 next to it and see if it's not worth $200. I think it is. I would have paid a whole lot more for this than $200 20 years ago. Not sure if I would have had that 20 years ago, but the point still stands. And then the rest is going to be all these things, lineage history. Special thanks. Come take a look. Special thanks to Austin and Melody. I really appreciated them helping out. Without them, I would have just been a guy by himself waving around double sabers in a park, which kind of looks questionable. But I did not do this alone. This was a team effort. I had people helping me out. Melody, Austin, big thanks to them. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Sarah, of course. Thanks to Mom for proofreading my English. Master's degree, but still, every time I talk to her, she's using some sort of word I haven't heard of before. So I literally just said, hey, Mom, do you want to proofread as far as the English language and check? And of course, cut a whole bunch of spelling and grammar things, which I'm really, really glad she did. It really elevated the product. I don't want there to be anything getting away in between the reader and in the way between the reader and the information. And you can all verify this stuff. I try not to go too crazy with the history and the research. I don't want to add things that weren't there. I try not to extrapolate. I try not to translate. I'm just putting sources, and if you have expertise with the language, with the history, with applications, hopefully this is a nice hub you can sit out from, and you can look up the museum where I found a certain scroll, or you can look at a move or a combination that I present with the double sabers and play with it. And if you have the experience and the training and it carries you even further, then I say awesome, please do. Anyways, Art of Chinese Saber, double sabers. Wow, I'm so glad that this has finally come to fruition. And got a small shipment, like I said, so do yourself a favor, pick up one before they're all gone.